Hi, 7th graders. Today you are going to be working on the discussion questions to go along with the story Born Worker from your green textbook. This is what the sheet looks like that you should have out from your folder. So if you want to answer these questions on a separate sheet of paper and take a picture and send it to me, that's fine. Otherwise, I will have a Google document created for you with all of these questions on it. Make sure that you answer every part of each question in a complete sentence. So in the first bubble, it says, if you could ask Jose or Arnie a question, what would it be? If you could ask any question of Jose, if you could ask any question of Arnie. So what would you ask Jose? What would you ask Arnie? How do you think each of those characters would respond to your question? So you could say, I would ask Jose, whatever your question is. I think Jose would respond by saying, and then do the same thing for Arnie. The next one, if you were friends with Jose and he asked you for advice about how to handle the situation with Arnie, what would you say to him? The next one, who are Jose's role models? Role models are people that you look up to. And what have they taught him? Who are your role models? Who are the people in your life that you look up to? And what have you learned from them? Next, describe the hardest job you've ever completed. How did you feel before you started the job, while you were working on the job, and after you finished the job? And what does being a good worker mean to you? And then finally, have you ever had to work with someone you don't like? Explain. Please don't mention any names, by the way. Be considerate and respectful. I will not give you credit for the assignment if you're being disrespectful and naming names. So you don't need to mention a name, but explain the situation. If so, how did you handle the situation? If not, how do you think you would handle working with someone you don't like in the future? Because when you get a job, more than likely you'll be interacting with lots of different types of personalities, lots of different people, whether it's coworkers or customers, or it just depends on the line of work that you go into, your bosses. And there are going to be people that you maybe don't really care for and wouldn't choose to hang out with, but you have to work, you have to have a working relationship with the person. So how would you handle that? How would you make it so that you could still get the job done and not get in trouble on your job if you have to work with someone that you don't particularly care for? And then there is a little blurb off to the side that says on the back of the sheet, create a question for your classmates to answer. So any question, like if you were the teacher and you had to make up a short answer question for kids to answer on a test, what would it be? So that's a pretty easy one. You just have to make up a question. And you don't have to do it on the back of this paper. You can do it on lined paper if you want. If you're doing the hard copy. If you're doing this online, then I'll have that question for you right on the Google document. Okay, so that's it for today. Again, complete sentences, answer all parts of each question, and you really can't get those wrong because it's kind of using your imagination and talking about your opinions and what you would do in different situations and making connections between what happens in the story and your own life. Okay, so get that done and make sure you're working on back work if you owe me stuff. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye, 7th graders.